Hey, welcome to the second official episode of At Tiny Printers with me, Sarah. Today we are going to be unboxing a new to me tiny printer. I bought this one off of eBay. It is an older printer, but mini tiny printers are. I love them anyways. This one I bought because a gentleman on TikTok had one, and I was helping him do some troubleshooting and print a new part that he needed. He wasn't able to print it himself because he only had one printer, and it was broken, so he couldn't print. So I printed the part and sent it to him. But I decided that I needed this printer myself. So I went on eBay and I found one for a reasonable price. And today you get to see me open it up, find out does it actually print or not. The listing on eBay said that they had checked it and it had turned on and that it ran. But then again, the listing also said it didn't have a power cord. So I may be a little skeptical of the listing. So put that aside so I don't kill myself. Okay, there is quite a bit of, I think I may be upside down. One moment, please. Quite a bit of bubble wrap, which is nice to see when getting a printer shipped to you, that it is well packaged. It's also heavy, which many older tiny printers, while the bed size is tiny, the case and everything is not, which is also the case with, say, my Flashforge binder. It has a small build plate, but a big surround. So, dig right into this thing. I paid, to be completely transparent, about $100 for shipping. It has a built-in camera for actually monitoring your prints, and as I said, it has this newfangled hot end. I believe they call it a smart extruder. That was all the rage at the time that they came out with it. Let me take that little sticker off. Didn't want to stay on anyway. So it connects with magnets, another feature you might notice from more modern printers. And this one was considered quite the nice 3D printer. It has a bed from the research that I did on them, and I did do research. It wasn't, I won't say it wasn't an impulse buy, but it wasn't a spur of the moment impulse buy. I always do research. The slicer that came with these is apparently utter crap compared to more modern slicers. It is the Makerbot software, and it is, I downloaded it and played around with it a little bit. It does not have the features one would want. Like, you can put a print on the build plate this way or this way. There's no way to turn it like diagonally to make a longer print or do things like that. It does, however, have the ability to make your infill look like sharks or cats. So I guess you gotta weigh the pros and cons. Maybe you need infill that looks like sharks. I'm not sure. Could make for some fun coasters. I'm not gonna lie. I may play around with it for just that reason. But my plan is to use this with Cura. I've actually already bought the cord. It takes, from what I can tell, a standard computer power cord, which is nice. Those are really easy to get. So I have that across the room, and I'll be putting that over here. Let's see. It has a spot for the filament back here. See if I can tip it that direction. So it has a spot where the filament is supposed to go in back here, but you'll notice it's not very big. It's for a smaller roll, which isn't a huge problem. I have a ton of small, like 200 and 250 gram rolls because I like small rolls. I like to get like bundles where I can try out a bunch of different colors or features of filament like rainbows and things in little bundles. So I end up with a bunch of small rolls. So that's not a huge thing for me. But I also have several different filament stands. I showed one the other day in the other video that I have printed that I can put a full kilogram roll on if I want to. So I'm going to take a minute off camera to go grab the power cord and a laptop and set this up, and we'll be back to turn it on and see if we can actually run a print. Please stand by. Hey, welcome back. So we have it plugged in. We have not turned it on yet. No, that's not quite true. It came turned on and it tried to start up, but I turned it off so that my official turning on would be with you guys, because why should I get all the fun? I have my laptop. Now, if I were any good at YouTube, I would have figured out already how to screen capture my laptop so that you guys could see what I'll be doing in Cura, but I haven't figured that out yet. So, the first thing, I will describe what I'm doing in Cura. the first thing I'm doing is that I think I'm using Cura 5.6, which isn't the most recent version, but it's not bad. But I went into the marketplace and I downloaded a plugin that actually makes Cura work with older Makerbot Replicator printers because they want their files in a slightly different format than the G-code format that many modern printers take. They have like a Makerbot format. So, but there is a plugin that you can download. And then, of course, once you download a plugin, you have to restart Cura. So now I'm going to actually set up the Makerbot. So let's look up the bed size of the Makerbot. Helps if you put in the right printer name when Googling. All right, so I've looked up the dimensions, which are going to be 100, or actually 101, by 126 by 126. So I am going to set up a custom printer in Cura, 6 by 126, with those dimensions, and a rectangular bed with its origin not at center, at a corner. I think I'll be okay with the print head settings as they are. A single extruder with a 1.75. Always make sure when setting up a custom printer in Cura that you change the compatible material diameter because their default is 2.85, and very few printers do 2.85 filament. Most do 1.75. All right, and that should set it up in theory. Now, before I turn it on, I'm going to go ahead and connect it to the printer directly with this cable that I happen to have. Does not come with it, just I have like 7 of these lying around for various reasons. 2D printers, 3D printers, you get them all over the place. It's just a peripheral cable with the square end. And then I'm going to turn it on. And we're going to give it a minute and see what it does.
It does have a little screen here in the front. It's not very big. What else does it have? It has... That actually isn't a screen. That is a button. I wonder what that button does. After powering on...
I think that's for the Wi-Fi discovery. I'm not sure. So, okay, it was already blinking. Okay, so I do happen to have the manual here. So let's pull the manual back up. Getting started. Yes, no, really, I want the getting started chapter. This is going to be a very crazy video. I am all over the place. Remove securing tape. I think I removed all the tape that I saw. Again, it's used, so the original securing tape is probably gone. Shipping clips. I don't see any shipping clips, so I think we're good there. Tells me to save the shipping clips in case I ever need to transport it in the future. Oh well, I can probably print those. Install the smart extruder. I did that. I installed it. It sits on there. The fan duct went at the bottom, fit in nicely. Goes with this fan. Yeah, that all went in very nicely. Wants me to install a spool. I have spools of filament. Did I bring a spool of filament over with me to try out my new printer? All right, I'm back again with a new spool of PLA Plus and nippers. Nippers are vital. Why are nippers vital? To open the spool of PLA Plus, for one thing. That's how everybody opens them. No, I don't have anger issues. I don't know what you're talking about. We saw nothing. Okay, so we're going to cut this at a 45-degree angle and take off this weird piece of bent stuff. Okay, and then go through this.
Not that that really does much. Yeah, we're not doing that because I think you probably need a PTFE tube. So I'm just going to go into it directly. It has, over here on this side, I felt it, a little thing to move the extruder. Or to, I should say, open the extruder so your filament can slip in. So we're going to put that in there.
Not downloading the mobile app. From everything I've heard, the mobile app no longer works. I'm probably cutting more of this out. I really did think I'd already downloaded most of this, but it turns out it was on a different laptop that I don't feel like going upstairs and getting. Hairspray. Perfectly valid for unheated beds. Perfectly valid for heated beds, quite frankly. I prefer Aquanet. Other people like other brands, but works well to help your print stick.
We just gotta let it. We just gotta let it. I wonder who it's from. Does it have a USB spot? Honestly, maybe. Like it when we don't have USB. It does not appear to. The options appear to be connecting or not connecting. Yeah, no. We did not get a letter. 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 Okay. That's four. I wonder. Just have lights. Lots of lights. So much dust. So much dust. Dust. He's dusty. Probably spoiled as well. They usually do. Waiting for this to install. Oh, excuse me. Does not. We'll try to get that. There we go. Much better. Much better. We saw nothing. Certainly not according to that. So much dust. So much dust. Looking much better. Woohoo, we've installed. Okay. Now, wouldn't it be funny if none of this was actually recording? Hysterical.
Okay, logged in. Ooh, it found the printer. It found the printer and the camera works. Oh, that's exciting. Yep, I can see my hand. Ha! Camera works. Okay, so I am currently with Makerbot. That's the one I'm using at the moment to at least get me started is the Makerbot print, which I said was crap, and which from everything I understand is crap, but we're gonna start there. So okay, so I want idle ready to print. Let's see, filament. I want to load filament. It is preheating extruder. Nice. It's thinking about printing, maybe, if it wants to. Having the extruder heat is actually a very important part of this process and telling if this can actually be a working printer or not. Because while the printer in its entirety was $100, those extruders, those smart extruders, they're like $300 on every site where I saw one individually. So, yeah. You can hear the fan, probably, from my mic. Though, I don't know, it may be noise canceling. I don't know, but I can hear the fan. It's not as bad at this point as some of my others, like my Tina 2 Basic is, once it gets moving, it's loud. Its fans aren't too bad. But this one, you can definitely hear the fan. Can I feel the fan? Oh, I can feel it coming out here through the extruder. That I can definitely feel. Nothing down here yet, which makes perfect sense, but you can feel it coming through the extruder. So that's good. Keeping the hot side hot and the cold side cold. Always very important. I really got to figure out this screen sharing thing because it'd be really cool if you guys could see what I see, but you can't. So you just have to, sit here and watch me do stuff. And probably I'll edit some of this out. Maybe I'll make a montage. I could make a montage, right? Maybe I could make a montage. Providing it's actually recording, which I couldn't get the screen sharing set up to see if it was recording or not. So who knows? It's fine. We're at 164, so it is looking like we're going to get to the right temperature. It wants to heat to 215, which is a pretty standard temperature for a PLA extruder. Though actually, like my flash forge only wants to go up to like 195 when it heats. It is a direct drive, as is this one, which again, for an older printer, having a direct drive, kind of nice.
Should be able to start feeding in the filament here soon. So, I'm going to turn this a little bit so I can get at things. Feel you over here.
It may already have filament stuck in it, and that may be why I can't get mine to go in. If there's already filament in it, oh yeah, we got some.
It is at temp now, and it seems to be wanting to feed, so we're going to try feeding it in again.
Down and see if we can push the other out and get it to grab mine. It does not want to grab mine. We may have a clog. Okay. Plan B. Okay, you go there. Okay, we go with you. Nope, I pulled too hard. Okay, I need to get this around a little more where I can see. Yeah, I'm serious.
There we went. There we go. Yeah, we broke through.
Let's try this now. It's just getting it into there is not easy. Why is that so hard? Why is that so hard? I'm trying to figure out why it does not want to go in. Okay. Plan B. Can we take this sucker apart a little? It's good to keep tools. Go big. We have other tools. We have other tools. Come on, before it cools. There we go. Okay, so we're going to take this nozzle off. And then we're going to look through this. Open a light, and we're not seeing through it. Okay, so we're going to go this way. Okay, we can go all the way through. That's a good sign.
Still fairly hot. I want to see what is causing the issue, because I for sure cannot see through it.
No, that is 100% not letting light through. Why not? I'm going to open this extruder up. I knew there was a good possibility I was going to have to work on this printer. Will I get it running tonight? I don't know. We will see. Okay, one screw. Don't go anywhere. Magnets! The joy of working on things with magnets when you have steel tools. Yeah. And I have to be careful when I open this up because there definitely is a board of some kind in there. And I want to make sure I don't mess up that board. So when I get these screws out, I will need to be careful for a variety of reasons. There's also at least one spring in here. And I don't know if you know about springs, but they have a tendency to spring and run away. Well, more bounce away, but they like to vanish and never be seen again. especially if they're a hard to source size. Or worse yet, you don't know what size they are, so that getting a replacement is difficult. So when you're working with things with springs, take care that they don't spring.
Be able to lift this off or lever it off. Again, being careful. Aha, I have tape. There is tape on the side, which means this has probably never been opened before, which might be a good sign.
We are not taking the tape off. We are just cutting the tape. Tape over here? No. Okay. Let's try this again. Leverage. Okay. Carefully. Carefully. Okay. Aha. Filament.
There's the problem. This is the problem. This guy here. And that's why we take things apart. Okay, so we have our extruder up here that feeds the filament in. It has some pieces to hold the filament against the gears that pull it.
Has some dust. We have this spring because this releases those pieces that hold it against. Then we have a very small cooling block, almost no heat break, and then the heater block. Hope you guys can see this. You probably can't. My camera's far too far away. I'm planning to get a secondary camera that will have a closer view for some things, but I don't have it set up today. So this was sort of a spur of the moment thing when it arrived. But that should, in theory, clear things out. Oh, hey, look, magnets. Very strong magnets. Now we put this back together. There we go. Okay. This is still fairly hot. But now I can put the screws back in. Now, some people, occasionally me, would say don't put all the screws back in, put one screw back in or two screws back in and test it, so that if you still have to take it back apart and do more to it, you don't have them all in. But I think I'm pretty good in this case. What I will do, put this one screw back in. I will go ahead and hold it up. Yeah, I can see light through it now. A little bit better. Not perfect. Definitely
better. Oh yeah, if I pull this thing, I get a light on the table from my flashlight. Yeah, it's clear now. So, it should be good.
Screws. Tiny screws especially also sometimes like to just jump away, much like springs. Especially if they can, hide in your carpet. Little does this thing know, I have spare screws of approximately this size. So doing this, I can tell you that for as old as this is, the plastic on this extruder is still in pretty good shape.
A lot of times, older plastics like to degrade and start falling apart. For example, my chair here, which is like a 1960s office chair, the plastic parts on it, if I pull on them too hard, like to break off pieces and just
fall apart completely.
But this is in pretty good shape. It's not nearly as old as the chair, but the chair is solid metal other than the decorative plastic and can hold my weight without issues, so we like our chair. Okay, one more.
Last one. I don't like it when there's hair on me. It's a personal thing. Okay, take this, put it back on here. Yep. First, we take this and we put it back. I'm not going to put it in that tight because I can tell this is not heated up any longer. And should I replace it? It actually doesn't look like it's in too bad a shape. The tip is looking okay. So we're just going to put it on and heat it up again. Nope, you are not in. Stop that. Nope. I said you are not in. You fit on there just fine, really. What's the bitching now? I move you around and suddenly you say you're not attached anymore. Okay, hands on, you're attached. Okay, we're going to say load again. We're going to tell you to heat things up. I'm going to get this in the top.
Oh yeah, much better this time. Well, no, wait, not yet. Because I don't have that fully on yet, so I need to wait, and when that is fully heated, or at least more heated than it is, I will tighten up the nozzle. Okay, keep this in my hand so that I don't forget to tighten up the nozzle. The little piece of filament just flopping around in there.
107. We'll probably start tightening it up. Okay, this is gonna make him tighten. I'm gonna take that off and give myself a little bit more space here. The problem with doing this, of even starting it by hand, is that the reason we use brass nozzles is that they heat up very fast. I think I was going the wrong direction. And that's why it was not. So, you gotta do this fairly quickly, or you burn your fingers. Or at the very least, bleep it. Okay. Okay. This also has magnets to hold it in place. So that's fun. Okay. Load filament. Had to restart that because, you know, when the extruder fell off. Okay. Put some tools away here.
Okay, so what is my first print going to be? You're probably thinking, a Vinci. But no. The Vinci is not my favorite. I prefer the Cali Dragon, mostly because I love dragons. I am a huge fan of the dragons. So, let us go download a Cali Dragon.
It's almost to temperature. Well, I go download this Cali Dragon. Should I have this already downloaded? Probably. I do have it already downloaded on a different computer. Oh yeah, we got some filament. Haven't decided on a name for my Makerbot Mini yet.
It's a bot, so I probably need a robot name. I could call it number 5. It's not my 5th printer, which would make number 5 even more hysterical.
Apparently thinks it's lost its extruder again. That's going to be annoying if that keeps happening. Got my Cali Dragon. Gotta put it on the plate.
Okay, Cali Dragon on the plate. My print settings. Okay, smart extruder. Print mode, balanced. What does balanced mean? Balanced, standard mode, optimized balance of print speed and quality, which is ideal for the majority of printing use cases. Draft, quicker sketch mode, favors speed over surface quality, great for multiple iterations. And then it has a min fill, but that is grayed out. So I guess I'm doing balanced. I can do a customized setting. Okay, let's look at custom print modes. Let's see what settings it gives me options to. Okay. Quick settings. Base layer, it wants to do a raft. I don't want to do a raft. I'm okay with rafts. Rafts are morally neutral, but I would like to see how it does without a raft. Okay. Layer height, 0.2, that sounds about right. Infill density, it has 10%. I'm going to go with 8%, which is my general standard. Number of shells, 2. I'm going to up that to 3. I like 3 walls, which shells is walls. Okay, printer. Travel speed, 150 millimeters a second. That's not bad for travel. I doubt that's the actual print speed, but that's the travel speed, it says. Extruder, retraction distance, 0.5. I'm not going to mess with that. Extruder temperature, 215. I'm actually going to take that down a couple of degrees. Most of my printers, I like to print at about 210.
Some, it may go up or down depending on things, but we're going to try 210 and see how it does. Okay, roofs. Roof's solid thickness. Adjust the thickness of the underlying roof section of the model. If there are visible gaps on the roof part of your model or you'd like a stronger print, increasing the roof thickness might help. It's currently listed as 0. I'm going to leave it there for right now. There's also a roof surface thickness, which adjusts the thickness of visible roof section of the model. So the solid thickness is the underlying roof, and the surface thickness is the visible section, which is at 0.8. And with a 0.2 layer height, that's like 4 layers, I think. So we're going to leave that one alone.
Fixed shell start versus random shell start. Basically, is your Z-seam going to be in one place on the whole model, or is it going to be wherever it happens to be? I'm going to let it be fixed and just be in a line somewhere. It doesn't really tell you where it's going to be. It just says it'll be fixed.
Do Smart Zipper. Turns on Smart Zipper functionality. Place zipper in most concave point of a given layer. Placing the zipper, connecting point of an extrusion, again, that seam, on the most concave point of a layer makes it less noticeable. Sure, let's do a smart zipper. Extruder 1 filament cool band speed, it's at 95%. I'm actually gonna pop that up to 100. I find that works best with most PLA. We'll see how it does if it's cooling on the first layers or if it'll turn off for those.
Extruder 1 print speed outlines. So this is the outermost shell. It wants 20 millimeters a second. I'm gonna leave that there. It's slow. We're not gonna lie, that is slow. But generally, you want your outermost shells to be the slowest so that they've got a nice finish. Shell starting direction, I don't care. Layer height, 0.2. Number of shells, we said 3, so that's fine. Infill, we said 8. Infill pattern, it wants to do diamond fill, which it says is fast. Again, other options, it's got a donut fill, a hexagonal, a Hilbert, linear interleaved.
Again, it's at 0.81, which is a little over 4 layers. We're good with that. Supports and bridging. Support under bridges. No, I do not want support at this time. This model should not need it. Support angle. Don't care. I'm not doing support. Base layer. Again, it wanted to do a raft. I don't want any. It has a brim option. I don't want a brim. Okay, I think we're going to go with these settings and hit done. And then I guess we hit print. If I can find the print estimates and print preview. Preview orient, and then we got a range, scale, estimate, and print preview. Let's start there. Now, this may turn out completely horrible. It may not stick to the bed at all, since I am not doing a raft, which it desperately wants to do. Okay, thinking about parsing the toolpath. Okay, I got a print preview, and that's what it looks like. Let's print this puppy. Okay, my very first print. We're going to get that loose filament off. I don't know how bed leveling works on this. It's an automatic bed leveling of some kind, so it's thinking about things. It expects this to take about 56 minutes, so we'll see how things go. It is heating. It's at 115 degrees right now. Thinking about getting up to 210.
Talking randomly when nothing happens is hard. Filling space. Not easy. Joel, telling I really admire your ability to just fill the gaps.
This way so that you guys get a better view, I hope. I should stop touching the extruder, but I don't like hair on things. It bothers me. Any good. Okay, we do have some filament coming out. We have a little bit extruding. We're at 206, so we're doing pretty good. Oh, we appear to be doing a purge line. We are quite a bit farther. Yeah, we are quite a ways from that build plate. I'm going to have to stop this. This is not going to work. We are much too far from that build plate. Yeah, I can see that we are way too far from the build plate to level this build plate. So I have a couple of options on what I could do. Now, first off, I'm going to get that detached. Pull this out. That's just not going to work at all at that distance. So what I am going to do here, you're like, what will blue painter's tape do? It'll make my surface closer to the nozzle until I can figure out how to level it better. Blue painter's tape is actually a very old printing trick.
Used. A lot of times, as a better surface than the bare metal that many early printers came with, they'd have just a bare aluminum bed and you put a sheet of painter's tape or a sheet of masking tape over it. But it can also be good if you're having some adhesion problems or if you want to adjust the height of things ever so slightly.
I don't need it adjusted a lot, just a little. Okay, so there we go. Okay. Hoping for the best here. Let's try this again.
Now, if this ends up not being high enough, I can stick another piece of tape on top of this. Again, ideally, I would want to level the bed and get the Z offset to where it needs to be, but that's not going to happen tonight. We're just being honest. That is not going to happen tonight. Tonight, I just want to see it actually printing.
It doesn't even seem to go through a leveling process, which confuses me. I would expect some sort of leveling. I'm going to have to look into that, to how it does it. A little closer, but still so very far away. It is not sticking. Yeah, I'm I'm gonna have to cancel again. Where's my cancel? Cancel. It is just... This is probably why it wants to do a raft. So, the printer works. It definitely heats, it extrudes filament. It does work. I'm going to have to figure out how to do the Z offset and a better way to make it work with Kira. The lines, they're just not real stuck down. So I think that's where I'm going to end it for right now. I may record some more another night. But I think that's where I'm going to stop for now. And we'll see where we get from there. Yeah, just moving back, it went out of whack. Just moving itself back over here, it came out of whack. Why are you out of whack? Why did it get out of whack? I don't understand. That's also going to annoy me, and I'm going to have to figure that out. Thank you for going on this journey with me tonight. I know we didn't actually get a print done, and that makes me kind of sad, but we'll try to get another night. This is my new printer, possibly named Johnny 5. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. And hope you're enjoying your tiny printers tonight. Keep scrolling.